Welcome into Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Today on the show, what a debut we saw last night. Here's what I need for Friday in the game, and we'll talk about trying to spend some cap space. It's all next. Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked On Sports Atlanta.
This is Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome into Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. We ask you to head to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta in the search browser. When you get there, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment. We are free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms. So download us, including Spotify, Odyssey. When you get there, leave us a 5-star review, and then give me a follow on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. You know, the other night, Orlando Arcia, unfortunately, hurt his hamstring pop and ended up hurt and injured and is on the IL now. And it sounds like it's going to be probably at least about 3 weeks before, even though he's on the 10-day IL, probably at least about 3 weeks before we're going to see him back. Now, the other thing that we got news a little bit on, and this was me talking to some Braves reporters, is it's probably going to be sometime into September before Ozzie comes back. No real timetable. We're several weeks away before Ozzie's going to be back. No real timetable on what his return is going to be. So the Braves found themselves in a real pinch and ended up calling up another one of their prospects in Vaughn Grissom. No relation, by the way, to Marquise Grissom, but called up some kid who's been playing middle infield for the Braves over these last couple of seasons in the minors. Called him right up from delay, and he comes up last night, and what a debut that he had, right? He comes up, he hits a home run over the Green Monster last night in the 7th inning, 2 for 4, scored 2 runs in the game, drove in a couple of runs, had a homer, added another hit, and oh yeah, just for craps and giggles, added a stolen base in the mix as well. Now, a couple of quick things. Grissom is a guy who's been tearing up Double-A baseball. He's been terrific. There's some questions about his defense and what his glove is, but he's been tearing up the ball in Double-A. He also is a guy who's got 27 stolen bases in the minors. So we talk about the Braves using their speed and having that element. Well, here's another kid, and you saw last night, he got a steal in his first game. Here's another kid coming up that's going to, be able to run and score from first on doubles and just do all these other kinds of things, right? All this stuff that I love about baseball, having guys who can slap the ball all around, having guys who can run all over the base paths and put pressure on defenses and wreak havoc on the bases. Here's another kid who's going to be able to do that. But what a story Grissom is. And if you think about the thing that I don't want to get lost in the shuffle about all of this is a real testament to how good the Braves scouting department and their minor league development system is. Because if you think about just this year, you have Michael Harris, Spencer Strider, and Vaughn Grissom, who have all been brought up. Grissom was drafted in 2019. And remember, even though he's been drafted a few years ago, in 2020, in the pandemic year, there was no minor league baseball. So 2020, was a complete lost season in minor league baseball. You didn't have any, right? So he's only played a little bit in 2019, and then obviously had a full year in 2021, and then obviously had his time this year down in the minors. So it's not like he's played for 5-6 years in their organization or anything like that. Strider, we talked about, drafted in 2020. A couple of years ago, he's pitching for Clemson, right? Michael Harris drafted a couple of years ago. It speaks to how good the scouting department and the player development aspect of the Braves is. Now, we'll talk more about this here in just a second, but want to talk about my friends over at Built Bar. We want you to go to Built.com. Look, you've heard me talking a lot about the protein-infused marshmallows, the marshmallow puffs that they have. The newest flavor is the coconut brownie chunk puff covered in 100% milk chocolate. Look, I've told you before, you can't go wrong with the s'mores. I'm telling you. Now, I understand. Listen, if you're over 9 years old, the idea of a s'more is probably a foreign concept. But I'm telling you, the marshmallow puffs, you want to treat. Listen, you're looking for a high-protein snack, low sugar, low carbs, things like that, right? The puffs and the Built Bars, fantastic options for you. So I want you to head to Built.com. Give the coconut brownie chunk puff a try today. Although I will tell you, also add in a box of the s'mores out there. You're going to love that. So here's what you do. You head to built.com, and I got a special deal for you here today. So for Locked On Sports Atlanta listeners, here's what we got going on. Go there, put together your order, search around their extensive menu, all the different Built bars that they have available to you, the marshmallow puffs that we've talked about. When you get that order put together, okay, and you get to the checkout, put the coupon code LOCKED15, LOCKED, the number 1, the number 5, LOCKED15, put that coupon code in at checkout, and you'll get 15% off your order. Very simple, right? Put together your order, get to checkout. Oh, coupon code LOCKED15, LOCKED, the number 1, the number 5. LOCKED15, plug that in and get 15% off your first order. And again, try the s'mores. You're really going to like them. Built.com is a place to go, man. Check out what they've got going on over there. But, I will say that we've talked about this before in the show, to have a team that is in World Series win now mode and to be able to pull guys up, jumping over AAA, jumping over some of these things, and guys that have only been in your organization for a really short time. It's not like these guys have had 4 or 5 years to really develop and move through the system and do that and the other. You got 2 of your guys that were drafted just 2 years ago. You got another kid in Vaughn Grissom who's drafted in 19, loses a year because of the pandemic, and here he is jumping up through jumping over AAA, coming right up. And first off, it was awesome to see the kid do these things, right? I mean, look, it was a perfect setting. You're in Fenway Park. It's Boston. You're making your debut. He talked about, listen, I was starry-eyed. I was standing in the cage saying, I can't believe I'm here, right? Everything that you love about baseball. There is, for all the problems and flaws and warts that baseball has, there is something very nostalgic about baseball, probably unlike any other sport in the country. Unlike football, basketball, anything, baseball and its history and nostalgia has something. So for a kid to be in Fenway Park looking up at this historic stadium and all the history and everything that goes along with it, and to make your debut there, and then you go up and hit a home run last night. I mean, it's a storybook. It's a movie, right? It's a 30 for 30 kind of movie out there. But the Braves organization and their development of players is amazing, because you've had 3 guys that have come up that have a chance to make big impacts when you've been desperate, you've needed help, you needed to plug some holes in the dike, right? And you pluck Harris. Here now you pluck Vaughn Grissom. Look, we obviously don't know what Vaughn Grissom is going to be. But imagine, hell, if he's half as good as Michael Harris and Spencer Strider, then you're in good shape. And right now, remember what I told you second base was – okay, anyway, that's right. We won't get into all that discussion. But second base is a problem. And they need somebody to plug in, because it doesn't look like Ozzy's coming back anytime soon. And I'm not sure Arcia was the answer. Certainly we know Robinson Cano wasn't the answer. But what a debut for Vaughn Grissom last night. And it speaks so highly to the Braves player development and their ability to pluck guys and find guys in their system that do exactly what they need to do. All right, when we come back, here's what I need tomorrow night in the Falcons game. We'll talk about that next. Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked On Sports Atlanta.